Self-publishing. When you self-publish your book, you may also become an editor, book designer, artist, and publisher. If you cannot afford to hire out services such as professional editing, book cover design, or book setup, especially with ebooks, you will have to become an expert on this yourself, or team up with another writer to help you with the process. You bear all the responsibility for the quality of the book, the marketing, and getting reviews, but you also take home all the profits after setup charges and consignment fees. There are many places to self-publish books. Barnes & Noble now has a self-publishing arm, as does Kobo Books. Then there is Lulu and Smashwords. But for this discussion, we're going to limit it to just two: CreateSpace, which is Amazon, and Ingram Spark, which is the Ingram Book Group. So which is it better to use, CreateSpace or Ingram Spark? That all depends on what you plan to do with your writing and publishing career. If you want your books to be carried in traditional bookstores, it's best to publish through Ingram Spark. The downside to that is that you have to discount the books. The standard discount is 55%. Of that 55%, the bookseller gets a 40% discount on books ordered. Ingram Book Company takes 15% for distribution. Note, although most booksellers are happy with a 40% discount, according to their author-publisher application form, Barnes & Noble's lowest discount for stocking books in their store is 47%. Even if you have your books printed and distributed by Ingram, there is no guarantee that a bookstore will carry them or have you do a signing. When I approached the local Powell's bookstore in Portland, Oregon, to arrange a signing for an author whose picture book illustrator is internationally known and a big draw when he does signings, I was told that unless the book was a regularly stocked item, they won't arrange a book signing. An enormous downside to returns, apart from the obvious no revenue, is that it's actually worse than a no sale. In addition to the sale being reversed, you are also charged for the printing when the book is returned. So on a $10 book, Ingram charges the bookseller $5.30 for each book. Of that, Ingram charges $4.19 to print it. If it sells, you get $1.11 in publisher's compensation. In the slide shown, you can see that the two returned books were charged against the publisher's net compensation, which left a deficit of $7.27. If there are no additional book sales to offset that negative number, you will be invoiced for it. As I am worried about returns, I now only contract with Indy bookstores to carry my books on a consignment contract. Most consignment contracts state that if books haven't sold in 6 months, you are responsible for picking them up or having them shipped to you at your cost. I get around this by doing a book signing at least once every 6 months at Indy stores. This not only helps the bookstore bring in traffic, it also helps your books stay in the store. If you are only interested in selling books on your own, online, or carried by a limited number of Indy bookstores, then CreateSpace is fine. Although most Indy bookstores prefer to sell on consignment, most will not carry CreateSpace books. I use both CreateSpace and Ingram Spark. I initially published through CreateSpace because they pay a higher percentage of royalties when customers purchase online. I published through Kindle about the same time. If you're going to use Ingram Spark to publish and sell ebooks, they sell to Kindle, Nook, Kobo, Apple, and more. You can't choose Kindle Direct Publishing Select, or as it's called, KDP Select. When you choose to enroll your book in KDP Select, which includes Kindle Unlimited and the Kindle Owner's Lending Library, KOLL, then you're committed to making the digital format of that book available exclusively through KDP. If they find out that you have also published your book in ebook format in other places, they will remove you from their Kindle library, on their Kindle list. If you're going to use both CreateSpace and Ingram Spark, do not choose the expanded distribution program through CreateSpace. They use Ingram Book Group to distribute their books and take a percentage. If you're going to publish through Ingram Spark, they already distribute your books for free through the Ingram Book Group. That's where the 15% comes in. As soon as I have the files uploaded to CreateSpace and Kindle, I then do the same with Ingram Spark. I go one step further and click on promotion. Promotion cost to their marketing publications is $85 per insertion. This is called the Ingram Advance. There's a children's advance and a regular book advance, which goes out to booksellers and libraries and colleges, etc. One thing that's really important to note is that you will need a different ISBN for every book you put out, or every version of it. So if you have bought your ISBN however you've chosen to buy it, either through CreateSpace or on your own, and you put it into your CreateSpace version of your book, you will have to buy a separate ISBN and a barcode for your Ingram book. You will also have to buy not a barcode, but an ISBN for your Ingram ebook, such as for the distributors through Nook and Kobo, Apple eBooks, and whatever other ones that they distribute too. Kindle, they will assign an automatic ASIN number, and so you don't have to worry about that or the barcode. But just be aware when you're setting up your files, and this is really important because it can become confusing. When you're setting up your files, make sure that you've got your CreateSpace ISBN inside your book on your information page, and that you have the correct one for Ingram on your information page, and don't mix them up. You'd have to do a lot of cross-checking because I've mixed them up and had to do some expensive changes. The other thing I need to inform you about Ingram is you should make sure that your books are complete and error-free, because every time you have submitted your books for review with Ingram and they have approved them for distribution, if they have approved them and then you find that there are errors and you need to make changes, they will charge you $25 for each time you need to resubmit the book. So if you do that with your cover and you make a mistake with your book interior, and you do that also with your ebooks, you could be spending $25 to re-upload the cover, $25 to re-upload the book file, and the same with each of the ebook cover or the ebook interior. With CreateSpace, any changes are free. You can continue to make changes on a daily basis and they still won't charge you any extra. That's one of the beauties of CreateSpace.